All right, let's talk about something we walk on every single day, but almost never really see. I'm talking about the ground beneath our feet. Because down there's this bustling, invisible metropolis that pretty much supports all life on land. It's called the soil food web. And today, we're going to get our hands dirty, metaphorically speaking, and dive right into this incredible hidden world.
So, let me ask you this, right off the bat. When you look at the ground, what do you actually see? I mean, really look. Do you just see dirt? You know, that lifeless stuff you track into the house? Or is it something else entirely? Something alive? Because that one question, that shift in perspective, is really at the heart of everything we're about to get into. And yeah, there's a huge difference. On one hand, you've got dirt. That's just the basic building blocks. Sand, silt, clay. It's lifeless mineral particles. But then you have soil. And soil, well, soil is a whole different ballgame. It's a living community. It's those same minerals, sure, but it's also packed with organic matter and literally billions of tiny organisms all interacting with each other. Take away the life, and yeah, you're just left with dust.
Okay, so here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll get a handle on what this living ecosystem actually is. Then we'll look at plants, which are kind of the powerhouse of the whole operation. After that, we'll meet the decomposer duo, followed by the all-important nutrient recyclers. And finally, we'll pull it all together and talk about why this amazing biodiversity in the soil matters so much.
All right, let's jump into our first section, soil as a living ecosystem. Time to lay the groundwork, pun intended, for understanding just how intricate this world under our feet really is.
So, what is the soil food web? Honestly, the simplest way to think about it is who eats whom in the underground world. It's this whole chain of command, these different feeding levels that show how energy and nutrients get passed around. It all starts with the tiniest little microbes and works its way all the way up to the big guys like earthworms.
Now, you'd probably think this whole food web kicks off with dead stuff, right? With decay, but that's not actually where it starts. The whole thing is powered by life. It all begins with the system's ultimate powerhouse, the plant.
And get this, because this is absolutely wild. Plants aren't just sitting there looking pretty. They're actively pumping out somewhere between 30 to 40% of all the energy they make from the sun. We're talking pure sugar energy, straight out of their roots into the soil. It's like they're serving up a liquid sunlight lunch for the entire neighborhood.
And make no mistake, this is no accident. It's not a leak, it's a deal. It's a transaction. The plant is basically running a bustling underground marketplace. It's trading these super valuable sugars for crucial services, like getting the right nutrients or even protection from diseases. It's this incredible symbiotic exchange, a perfect two-way street.
So who's lining up for this sugary buffet? Well, let's meet the first customers to the party, the decomposer duo. We're talking about bacteria and fungi. These guys are the primary consumers, kicking off that second level of the food web.
Now, these two groups have totally different tastes. Think of bacteria as the first responders. They're all about the fast food, the simple, easy-to-eat sugars the plant puts out. Fungi, though, they're the heavy lifters. They bring the serious equipment, the enzymes needed to break down really tough stuff like dead roots or woody bits. But here's the key. As they both chow down, they lock up all those valuable nutrients inside their own bodies. They basically become tiny living bank vaults for nutrients.
Just to give you an idea of the sheer scale we're talking about here, check this out. In one single teaspoon of healthy soil, you can find up to 1 billion bacterial cells. 1 billion! That's insane! If you scale that up to an acre, you're talking about the same weight as 2 cows. So yeah, we're dealing with a massive, invisible herd of livestock that's powering this entire system. Okay, so this brings us to a really crucial part of the story. We've got all these amazing nutrients, but they're locked up inside the bacteria and fungi. So, how does the plant get them back? This is where our next group of players, the nutrient recyclers, makes their entrance. And just like that, the next level of the food web shows up. We're talking about the predators and grazers, tiny organisms like protozoa and nematodes. They arrive on the scene to hunt the huge populations of bacteria and fungi that have been getting fat on the plant's free lunch. And right here, this is the engine room of soil fertility. It works like this. Step 1, the plant puts out the sugar. Step 2, bacteria and fungi eat it, storing nutrients. Step 3, a predator, say a protozoan, comes along and eats a bacterium. And here is the magic moment. The protozoan has way more nutrients than it needs, so what does it do? It poops out the excess. And that waste is the perfect, ready-to-use fertilizer delivered right to the plant's doorstep. I mean, that's such a perfect way to put it, isn't it? Every time one of these little guys eats another, it's like a tiny little fertilizer bag pops open right where the plant needs it most. It's a genius system. The plant uses sugar to call in the bacteria attract the predators, and the predators deliver the food. It's just this beautiful, elegant, self-sustaining loop.
And it doesn't stop there. The food web just keeps getting bigger. You have the microcritters, like protozoa and nematodes, then you've got slightly bigger ones, the mesofauna, like mites and springtails that eat them, and then they get eaten by the macrofauna, the ones we can actually see, like earthworms, ants, and termites. Every single level in this chain, from the tiniest to the biggest, has a job to do, moving nutrients around and literally building the soil structure that makes everything else possible.
Okay, so that brings us to the big finale. We've seen all the tiny players and this whole complex dance they do. But, so what? Why does any of this microscopic drama matter to us up here on the surface? Well, it all comes down to the absolutely essential services that this underground life provides for everyone. The payoff here is huge. I mean, look at this. All this life creates soil structure, tiny microbes release these glues that hold soil together, creating space for air and water. That structure turns soil into a giant sponge, holding onto water and stopping erosion. Of course, it cycles nutrients. We've seen how it's a non-stop buffet for plants. It also helps regulate the climate by locking up massive amounts of carbon in the ground. And at the end of the day, all the life we see above ground, it's all standing on the shoulders of this invisible world below.
So we kind of end up right back where we started, but hopefully with a totally new way of seeing things. The ground beneath our feet isn't just dirt, it's a living, breathing ecosystem. And if that's true, if this invisible world is really the foundation that holds up our own, then the big question we have to ask ourselves is, how are our actions, everything we do up here, affecting that delicate, vital, and frankly beautiful balance down below?